Greetings, Periscopers. There we go. Hi, thank you for joining. Fatina, Marvin, thank you for joining today. I appreciate it. I'm actually here on time today. Schofield, thank you for joining today. I really appreciate it. Hello, Schofield. Where are you coming from? I'm doing okay today. A little tired. Oh, London. Wow. Thank you for checking in. We had someone else from London joining us for a while. I'm not sure where she is. I know it's very late there. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the hearts. I hope that was intentional, but even if not, I like it. I feel the love. I feel the love. I'm looking forward to chatting for just a little bit with you all today. Yeah, Periscope's a great thing to do at night. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. I feel the love. You can feel free, if you're joining us, to invite other people, your followers. If you're on an iPhone, you swipe left to right. If you are on a Droid, you go from bottom to top, and you can invite or share with your tweets. And thank you for joining Tick Tick Samario. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started. No, that's okay. I don't have a lot of followers either. And I've been doing this for a couple months. My name is Monica A. Coleman, and I am a professor of religion. I'm based in Los Angeles, California, and I am the author of the forthcoming book, Bipolar Faith, A Black Woman's Journey with Depression and Faith. And so I kind of jump on Periscope every weekday, not including U.S. holidays, to respond to the questions that I get asked the most. And what I get asked more than anything else is, what are my spiritual practices, and what are the things that I do to live faithfully with a depressive condition? Hi, Crystal Ashan, good to see you. And so I won't be long today because I'm really tired. And but I wanted to share for a moment about ancestors, because ancestors have been on my mind. And in my faith tradition, ancestors are really important. They always have been since I was young, and in different ways in my family. So my mother's father died when she was young, and one thing that her mother began doing was to go to the gravesite and visit fairly often and place flowers there, and just kind of, if you had an issue, you would talk, or just kind of be there in silence. And so I grew up doing that as just one of many ways to honor my ancestors. And so every time I'm in the city or nearby, I go to the gravesite. I've taken my young child, and so it's not scary or creepy. It's just one of the ways that we remember somebody who was important to us. And I often think that's a big part of what Christianity is about, right? That we're remembering an ancestor, right? Jesus as an ancestor. And honoring Jesus and talking about Jesus and passing on the things that he taught us and that were meaningful to us, and creating community around that. And in every tradition that is meaningful to me, faith tradition that is personally meaningful to me, in various ways in my family or in those traditions, the ancestors, those who've gone on, are really important. And we don't think of them as somebody who's just died, right? But very much as those who have a lingering presence with us. And there are various ways we think about that, and I talk about that a lot in my book, Making a Way Out of No Way. But for me, thinking of my ancestors is really important, and it's become, and I make it into a spiritual practice in all types of different ways. I might have an altar for my ancestors, or I might just tell stories about them, and that's a way to remember my ancestors. My father has passed, and so I tell my daughter stories about my dad. So passing on the things that he taught me, the songs he taught me, the poetry he taught me. These are all ways to remember ancestors. And I had mentioned several Periscopes ago, I talked about kind of getting back to basics, right? And that when times are tough, what do you do to kind of get grounded? And what's kind of at the bottom of your faith when everything else seems like extra or too much work or too much to do? What do you fall back on? And I mentioned sometimes falling back on the songs that my grandparents used to sing when I was growing up. But one thing I do fall back on for me are my ancestors, those who have come before me, and keeping them close to me. And so I realized recently I was doing that without even really being conscious of it. And I've been doing that a bit through jewelry. So if you can see, yeah, my earrings there. My father gave me these green earrings. And I sometimes wear them, sometimes don't. And I lost the backing of one. I really went out of my way to go to a jewelry store and get the backing because I really felt like I wanted to wear them all the time. Likewise, I started wearing my grandmother's ring, which I had asked for before she died. She died of cancer, so we knew she was going to die. And I was not even a teenager yet, barely a teenager, and I knew that I wanted to have her rings. And I didn't wear them. I said, I'll start wearing her rings. So I've been wearing my grandmother's rings, or my grandfather gave me a watch when I was a little girl. And so getting it fixed is this whole thing because they haven't made those parts in decades. But I found someone who could fix a watch, and I was like, why am I going through all this all of a sudden? And I realized, wow, I must be in a mode to keep the ancestors close to me, right? And this is just one way of doing that. And it's, for me, I think of, the ancestors has so much to do with what it means to live with a mental health challenge, because sometimes we wonder who else in the family had this, right? Where else in my family was there maybe depression or anxiety or mental health challenges? We try and trace things back genetically, which is so hard to do. But I also think of, how did my ancestors survive the different things they went through and they experienced, and what can I learn from them? But mostly, it's not even that deep. It's not even that complicated. I just think I want them near me. I want them around me. I want to feel their presence. I want to know that even though I miss them here, they're still with me. They're still near me. They thought about me. I think about them. And I find that to be really grounding. And so I think there's so many ways to honor ancestors. And like I said, I've written about that before, and I'll probably continue to talk about that because it's a very big part of my spiritual life. But sometimes it isn't pouring water or being at an altar or engaging in Eucharist or all the various things that we do in more formal religions, but just those smaller ways that we keep them close to us. So maybe think of some of your ancestors that you've had great memories of, and think about how can you keep that ancestor close. So for me, they're literally close on my body and my jewelry, right? And that's really meaningful to me right now. But what might you do to remember them, to think about them, to hold them close to your heart? Because I really do think that even as we become and evolve and grow and into all of who God calls us to be in the future, we're still really grounded by our past. And we want to kind of pick the best of the past and continue to keep that with us as we move forward. So I thank you for joining me today, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and you will share this with your other people on Twitter or Facebook. You can pre-order the book, Bipolar Faith, A Black Woman's Journey with Depression and Faith, on Amazon.com. It drops in less than a month, July 1st. And again, I'm Monica A. Coleman. I'm a professor of religion at Claremont School of Theology. Actually, I'm based in Los Angeles, California, and I'm the author of Bipolar Faith. I will look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you for joining.